What's up, everybody? This is XRP and the bull market support band. Let's just go back in time here. You can see that didn't really act too well as a support band because it was just starting out. You could see some confluence a little bit, but it wasn't until we really started breaking out that we started holding it as support. We have this massive impulse, and then the price came back down, held it as support, another impulse, and then look, that's when the bear market started, and you can see resistance, resistance, resistance. And this one was really good. We had a nice resistance here, and then we broke above it. And if you look closely, gotta zoom in my chart a little bit, but you can see right in there that was like the ultimate charging station. I always like to say the bull market support band is like a charging station. It's charging the price. The price breaks out. You're think about you're in an electric car. You're driving for hours, but then you got to come back and charge your car. So you're charging, 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 charging. And now your battery's full, and now you can go explode, right? So SEC crash came. Then look, we resisted it for a couple weeks, but then look what happened. We broke above it, and then look what happened. We tested as support, came up, came back down, tested it as support again, charging the batteries, and look at it's beautifully rounding up, and then boom, had a great rally. So now look at the price. Price breaks below, right? And then it has a fake pump to the upside, held it as support, but it only held it once, and then slightly again, but then eventually it broke below and just melted down. So, but now we're in a really, really good position because now, like the Bitcoin video, we're in a nice rounded bottom. So anytime you have a nice rounded bottom and the bull market support band is flattening out like this, and then the price coils around it, that's how you know we're ready to go. But it's just going to take time because remember, this is the weekly chart. So looking at the price, we were playing around with it here. Resistance. This is what I really like right here. So you see this wick, we broke above and it failed and we sliced right through it. We came up, we acted as resistance, right? This is the bear market resistance band. See, resistance, resistance. But then what happened was we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 waves to finish it out. And if it was truncated, if you ask me, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth didn't go below wave 3 because it was truncated. But it was 5 nonetheless. Then what happened? See this wick right here? That was a liquidation wick. It basically means that buyers stepped up to the plate in a massive way. The buyers stepped up, price came up here. We ran right into the bull market support band. It was acting as resistance, resistance, resistance. But look, notice what happened. The price wasn't rejecting off of it completely and going down, but instead it was like a magnet. It was magnetized, and the price and the band were like married in a cohesive way, and then all of a sudden, boom, we exploded. I wouldn't say exploded, but it was a nice big pump back to the top of the range. And then here's where the magic happens. We had a pullback, but this time the pullback is being supported by the bull market support band. So when did the bull market start? Right there. Right there. May 2023, right? That's when it started. May 2023. The bull market started. It didn't start anywhere else except here. So we broke out, we came down, we got supported. And now we're coming back up, and now look, it's coming back down and it's being held as again. So this could be a test, and then we pump up, and now we're having a secondary test. We need to hold the band at all cost. We did all that work to break above it. Now we have to, so the band is about right, I would say right about there. So that's the line we need to hold. I don't want to see us below 44 cents. I mean, the lower part of the band is still about 45 cents. So we don't want to break below the lower part of the band. So check it out. We had this pump up, and look, the wick, look what happened. It wicked down into the band, and it got bought right back up. And now we're on this weekly candle with an hour to go, and it's basically an indecision candle. But the next candle, we want to start to get out of here, unless we're going to come back down and retest it again. So zooming into the daily chart, you can see it a little better. See this right here, oh man, I wasn't even paying attention really. That right there was like the perfect time to buy, because it was just, I haven't looked at this indicator in a while. I don't know why, but this indicator is really, really good, and I missed a lot of good entries and exits with this indicator. But anyway, it was a really good shot. What I think is happening now, if I had a guess, I'll have a couple guesses. This is like this, and then we test it again, and then we go. That's number one. Or number two, we break below it, take out this liquidity, and then go. And this whole thing would be like a big spring right in here. That whole thing would be a sort of a massive spring. Or we can just start, this is a 1-2, and we're going to continue higher. I don't like the shape of it, just because, we have a high, we have a lower high, and we have another lower high. So we have all these lower highs. So it looks like it needs to finish out a wave or something. So, you do have like an ascending triangle here, right? And it's getting coiled in, so anything here is just, erratic behavior. But if I had to guess, this was 1, 2, 3, right? And then this is 1, 2, and now we're getting 3. And 3 can be a flat where we don't have to break this area. So we're supporting here, the band, here's the band here, and it's, just extend that out a little bit, right? Price comes back down and retest the band around 45 cents, maybe. And then we can get the heck out of here. Because basically we're just coiling up in here before we break out. So just have to wait and see. But at the end of the day, it is bullish. Why is it bullish? Because of this right there and right there. That's why. That's the bullish thing. See over here, we didn't get it. We didn't see over here. We just sliced right through without acting as resistance, and then we didn't have no follow through. So typically in these bottoms, we have a little bit of coiling up where these basically serial bull bottoms, right? The price comes down and we kind of coil up above the band, below the band, above the band, below the band, right? And the band is kind of like the middle area, right? So that's actually a good thing, because when the price goes up above it and below it and above it and below it, it's creating a stronger volume profile, right? It's volume profile, and it gives the terminology coiled spring. Like think about a coiled spring, and you're holding it and holding it and holding it, and then once you release it, it goes boom and explodes. So we're getting near the end of the coiled spring because you could tell that now we're holding it as support. We got to bounce off of it, but we still need a little bit more work, consolidation. And also because Bitcoin is running. Bitcoin likes to be the showstopper. So this, if I had to make my best guess, this is what I think. You know, Bitcoin held the band beautifully, came back up, down, held the band beautifully. And look at that. Look at that. As it held the band and then it went higher. So the fact that Bitcoin broke out, you know, that tells me that it's Bitcoin's turn right now. So we need to wait and see how Bitcoin reacts. But, you know, if I could just go to the weekly chart here and look at it from this perspective, we got above it, tested it, right? And then once we get up here, you're going to get some strong resistance. And then as we consolidate, that's when the altcoins can have their rotation, right? Because right now it's Bitcoin, but then the liquidity will go and do altcoins, hopefully. So we have to wait and see what happens, but from what I see, it looks really good. You know, look at that. That's perfect. So once the Bitcoin volatility slows down, and that's probably up in here, unless we start consolidating now, you know, we want to see this thing go. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1, 2, and then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be wave 3. And then we want to slow down a little bit. You know, we want to consolidate, and as we consolidate, that's when the altcoins get their turn. So it might take a little while, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, if you just go down to the daily chart, and you can already see it, you know, slowing down a lot. So if I just take everything off the screen, so here's the bull market support band right here. See how it's going? Like that. So if we had an impulse and then a three-way pullback and then some consolidation, you know, maybe even retest that band, I can see the altcoins picking up a lot of steam in here. Unless we have to do this, get up here and then consolidate, let the band have time to catch up to it before the next pump. And then during this consolidation is when the altcoins like to go. Because notice, you know, when Bitcoin went up, XRP didn't even move, right? So we have to wait and see. But as of right now, everything's looking great because of the bull market support band.